Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And there's few things in this game these days that just absolutely shock me and kind of make my jaw drop or just... I feel completely humbled. This is going to be one of those situations, but spoilers. You're going to have to see what happens later on. Alright, so today I'm playing in the Tier 9 Polish heavy tank, the 50 TP. And this was actually the last game that I played in this vehicle to be able to unlock the 60 TP, the Tier 10 Polish heavy tank. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a tech tree showcase on the whole of the Polish line later on today on my Twitch channel. Now, that's really exciting because this tech tree is top of the tree at the moment on the European server, and so if you've managed to get towards the mid part of the Polish tech tree and you've always wondered, is it worth kind of suffering through the tier 6 and the tier 7 to be able to get on towards the 8, 9 and 10, you can come around and check that out. And also the vehicles are discounted. Now, I was waiting specifically for this day on the 1st of November on Thursday to be able to purchase that 60 TP, because you know what, if you take advantage of those top of those tree events, it can save you literally 2 million credits off purchasing the tier 10 vehicle because of the 30% discount. Now, also, I didn't really want to rush through the Polish heavy tree. I've kind of taken my time with it. I've enjoyed it over the last few months, and has it been a life-changing experience? I wouldn't really say it has. Although there have been some very strong tanks along the way that have been quite fun to play for standard heavies. Now the 50 TP is special because it has 560 alpha damage at tier 9, which really allows you to hit hard, as this KV-4 pretty much loses half of their remaining hit points, and even if they hadn't been on half health to begin with, then we would have been taking off a third of a heavy tank with every shot we put into them. Now I do load an APCR shell there because I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to face hug me and how secure I would be able to get shots into his mid plate, but I could have done with a standard round there. Now, the thing about the 50 TP is that it's not really super heavily armored frontally. It does have some issues with the lower plate, and if you over-angle, then the whole of the upper plate here becomes a bit of an issue. Nevertheless, when you've got 8 degrees of gun depression like this tank has, and you've got that big old 130mm main armor, let me just check, is it 130mm? Yes, it is. With 250 penetration and that 560 alpha, this thing hits hard. Now, of course, there is the Type 4 Heavy, the Tier 9 Japanese heavy tank, right? And that does pack 600 alpha damage with every shell, but hardly anyone's using that gun. And I found when I played through the tank with the armor-piercing gun, and even using it on the Tier 10, they're perfectly balanced. Still have no idea why it was necessary to create those filthy derp guns at Tier 9 and Tier 10 on the Japanese line. I think just a little bit of a buff to maybe the gun handling or the rate of fire or even the armor, which they all kind of did at the same time, would have been sufficient. Okay, so now we got a Tiger P caught out, and luckily that Scorpion managed to ricochet off us because he had pretty much the side of my turret, and the side of my turret is not great on this tank. Did that just miss and maybe hit the gun? Maybe he was trying to look for the side of the turret. But this Tiger P not doing too well. I have got very good view range on this tank because I put my Gianluigi Buffon inside it, and so he has got situational awareness, he has got recon. I'm also using coated optics and not vents on this tank because I just like to work the ridgeline so much on it. The 8 degrees of gun depression, the high alpha damage, when combined, if you can spot for yourself with coated optics on the tank, because it only has 380 meters base view range, when quite a lot of other Tier 9 heavies are starting to pack, 390 and possibly even 400 meters view range, then you do need to amplify everything that you can. I can't believe that one went in, but of course I hit right on the side there of this weak point that's on the front of the vehicle. So I hit that part, went straight in, but a premium round from the Scorpion G does slam one into the side, taking off a quarter of my hit points. Alright, so 3,000 damage in 4 minutes, just completely dominating this matchup, as you would expect for a Tier 9 heavy tank being in +2 matchmaking, when the artillery are not managing to land clean shells. And that's one of the great things about using this ridgeline, is it's actually quite hard for the artillery to hit you reliably. Remember that if you're on a downslope, that means that when artillery do loop shells in, that they do see such a small amount of your tank that either they hit you really hard, or quite often they hit the top of the ridge, or they go past and they hit behind you. So definitely use those ridge lines to your advantage in these multiple artillery matchups. Alright, but now we're going to kind of enter a stalemate period of this game. I've pushed forwards, I've extended view range, but the enemies are kind of digging in around the back, and now there's a T-49 in the middle who manages to track me and also damage my tank, and he does it again, so I'm forced to use my repair kit. Lovely marksmanship there by the T-49. When that thing is using the 90mm gun, you really cannot take it for granted. at all. It's going to lock you down, and it's got voracious damage per minute. I think it fires 10 rounds a minute, whereas the best kind of rate of fire on any kind of tier 8 medium tank is about 8 rounds a minute with a similar caliber gun. Alright, so now I know I'm completely locked in. That T-49 is doing some excellent work in the middle of the map. He's very likely to be working the bushes around here. He's probably going to be sitting around this location, might even be coming forwards to these kind of bushes. What kind of opportunity do they have to get side vision on you? There's just so many opportunities, and this is where light tanks just manage to outplay the heavies. You don't have the camo rating to be able to avoid their vision, and they certainly do to have yours. Okay, well, we found out where that little dastardly T-49 was. In fact, using the bushes right in the middle here. These are some bushes that I personally don't use very often, but they seem to be rather effective, especially about getting vision through the center. Personally, I love to use the bushes over in this location because that allows you to extend view range all the way along this part of the map, and quite often you can spot tanks as they're trying to progress from the east to the west. You can even catch artillery out at the start of the game. Now, I ping the map to let my team know where the gentleman is, because I can't really progress now. I'm completely stuck. And this is where it's frustrating to be a heavy tank, especially when you see in a matchup like this. We've got 1, 2, 3, and I guess if you include me, 4 green players against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wow. Over half of the enemy team are significantly above average. In these kind of situations, you do feel like something major is going to happen, or there's going to have to be some kind of huge team play or a team effort, or you're going to have to go in and just completely crush flank if you want to win one of these matchups. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to crush flank. And also that T-49 just manages to extend view range on me in places that I didn't even think was possible. So fantastic play by the tier 9 light tank on the enemy team. And now I know that the artillery are just going to have free shots on me. Spots me again, and I'm bewildered. I ping them, well, I guess I'm not completely bewildered as I ping the map, and oh dear, the artillery barrage begins. I ping the map repeatedly, getting more and more frustrated, but I don't think it's frustration. Well, obviously it is frustration. It was. I'm not going to say it wasn't. I was frustrated that this T-49 was outplaying me so hard and getting me killed by the artillery. But I also see that we have an opportunity. So I ask for help, I ping the map a few times, and look at this. Royal Screw-Up in his AMX-30 presses affirmative. And look at this move on the minimap, ladies and gents, as I get slammed by artillery again. I say, please spot the T-49 or we lose. Seriously, I guess I've been affected by Minecraft Boy, right? I ping the map as where I think the T-49 is, in a line, telling the AMX-30 where I think the vision is coming, and there he is! The T-49 spotted by Royal Screw-Up, who shuts him down, and in the nick of time too, because I'd lost my commander, so there was no way I was spotting that T-49 at all. I say thanks in caps in the chat. Royal Screw-Up just dug me out of a terrible situation. And now look, Royal Screw-Up's going to be advancing right across the middle here, back into the position of the T-49. I just really hope that Royal Screw-Up realizes how important that position was, and maybe it required me to ping the map a few times to alert him to that presence. But once you've dominated this ridge, now they're spotting out the Skoda the T-50 on the enemy team, for example. And Royal Screw-Up puts one round in, the artillery splashes nearby. Looks like the 45 TP on our team tries to finish him off, but the artillery support allows Royal Screw-Up to take out a tier 9 medium tank. And suddenly we've gone from a situation where we look like I was going to be slowly grinded down, and then when I was out, then that T-49 was probably going to extend more view range across the middle of the map, and then inevitably they'd probably crush the western flank or be able to advance through the center and isolate the eastern flank, and now it's completely changed. However, I feel that Royal Screw-Up is kind of probably living up to his name a little bit here. He's going and sitting up on this ridgeline. If you go and sit up on this ridgeline, sure, maybe you'll get a miraculous spot on some kind of donkey artillery that's sitting out in the open and not using one of the bushes. But also, if you get spotted here, you're going to get shot from all of those little tank destroyers situated up in this location. So, do you see what I say? I ping the map. I let the AMX-30 know which is the best way to go in. And I say, AMX, please, you can win the game for us. Wow, and look! Royal Screw-Up completely listens here. Goes in the exact path where he's going to be able to use the buildings and use some of the bushes to evade vision on the enemy team, and now lights up the T-25 too, along with one of the Scorpion Gs on the eastern flank. Now, I feel so pumped about this. It was probably one of the best things that has happened to me in World of Tanks in donkey's years, when your team actually listens, right? And Royal Screw Up now shuts down the T-25, advances towards the SU-100 M1, and I haven't done any damage, right? I think in the last, how many minutes? 7 minutes of this game, or 11? Not like 6 or 5 minutes of this game. I've done nothing. I am being completely carried by Royal Screw Up, who should have been able to pick up the kill there on the SU-100M1, but the artillery looks like splashed him, stunned him, and so he didn't have the rate of fire to be able to take him down, so instead the Scorpion G pulls it off. And right now, I was streaming, and I was just freaking out that this was possibly one of the coolest games of World of Tanks I have ever seen. And it's not, well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but let's just say it was very special for me. Alright. I've commentated on 15 kill games on this channel. I've commentated on Kolobanov's medals. There's no doubt that those games are super exciting. But let me tell you what it's like being the QuickyBaby, especially how I just played on the North American server, where I was voraciously stream sniped by many people constantly. And no hard feelings, I'd probably do the same thing if I was in your position. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be nice about it. And it's becoming harder and harder for me these days to be able to play the game, because obviously my fame, I hate calling it that, how pathetic. I play video games on the internet, I don't think we can really pull that off, has made it so that I'd say at least, well, depending on what server I'm playing on, maybe 3 players on the European server. I think half of the players when I was playing on the American server at TwitchCon know me. And some of them will turn on the stream, or even if they don't, World of Tanks is pretty simple. Once you've seen somebody in a position, you know that you can change flanks and then go and harass them, especially if they're in artillery, or if I'm in a low tier tank and they're in a high tier tank. If they've got any kind of skill, they're going to be able to make my life a living hell, right? And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who say, yeah, you deserve it. And in a way, because I'm the one who's putting my content out there on the internet, and so of course this is inevitable. It doesn't make it feel any better, but this does. And I will always make sure that I remember this game, because this was a game where my fame, oh god, can't do this, where the fact that I'm reasonably well known within the World of Tanks community really helped me. Right? This was just absolutely magical to see Royal Screw Up nail this game, go in to kill the flank, and look how we turned it around. I don't think we lost a vehicle or many vehicles in the last half of this game, even though we were down on tanks against a team that was more experienced or more skilled than us, whatever you want to look at it. And so that actually allowed us to pick up a Brothers in Arms medal for scoring 3 kills each. And look at this, Royal Screw Up carrying me, 4,600 damage, 1,144 base experience points. And I was so enchanted by this that I had a conversation with Royal Screw Up after the game, which I've print screen so you can see here. Royal Screw Up says, "Thanks, baby. I watched your video." I was like, okay, cool, dude. Quite a few people say that, but I was looking up to this player right now. I tell him it was awesome. He asks me if I was that guy. Am I that guy? I don't know what kind of a guy you're trying to talk about. And I told him, you totally carried us like a boss. And then I said, yeah, man, I'm streaming right now. So like 2,000 people just saw you play a monster game. Although I think it was more like 4,000 people watching at this moment. And after this, I inspected Royal Screw Up statistics, and I saw that he didn't have many premium vehicles. And I was so caught up in the moment, and I'd had a really good stream. And the fact that this game had impacted me so much and just made me so happy, I wanted to hopefully pay it forward to Royal Screw Up. And so I asked him, he could have any tier 8 premium tank he wanted from the gift shop. Which one would he want? And he says the Italian one. But unfortunately, this was on Thursday, and the Progetto was not available in the shop. So I tell him that I don't think it's on sale. Does he want any others? And this is where I get completely humbled. Royal Screw Up says, no, it's okay, man. And so I offer him anything else from the premium shop, and he just says, thanks for the good game. And in the very next message, he says, lol, thanks anyway. You can add me. Maybe I can learn something. Royal Screw Up didn't want anything from the premium shop. He just wanted to be on my friends list. And so I proceed to have a lovely conversation with a Slovenian gentleman. And then we go on to play a few games in a platoon. And I think I might have to upload a few of them on this channel because they're kind of unexpected friends worthy. And so all in all, this game it touched me so much. Usually I'm there crying about people watching my streams so that they can get an advantage against me. This time, it helped. And the fact that my suggestions ended up with Royal Screw-Up having a gigantic game rather than sending him to his death, I was pretty happy about as well. And then to be completely humbled that Royal Screw-Up didn't actually want anything from the gift shop. He just wanted to be on my friends list and play a couple of games together. Really makes me realize that this is why I play multiplayer games, and this is why I am one of the luckiest content creators in the internet. So I'd like to say thank you to you, Royal Screw-Up, for making my evening so special on Thursday. And do you know what? The funniest thing happened. Wargaming decided to sell the Progetto the very next day. And so I can't really help but have to gift you one. And so there you go, bud. I hope you enjoy it. And may the spaghetti give you so many good games and lots of tasty credits. And so that's it for today, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this feels good video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. But if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for another World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And this one's extra special because it's going to be the Polish line. The Polish heavies, the first time I've ever showcased this tech tree up towards the 60 TP, so you can see if it's a line that's worth grinding this month on the European server, or if you already have the tanks, maybe pick up a few tips and tricks along the way. So I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.